As we just learned, minerals are considered inorganic, and typically in biology, when we talk about things that are inorganic, we would say non-living things are inorganic. We are organic, we're made out of carbon structures, whereas we would typically say that a rock, for instance, or which are made of minerals, we would typically say that that is, because it's inorganic, it is a non-living thing. However, again, that's a Western science lens of what is a living thing versus a non-living thing. However, an Indigenous lens might actually offer a different perspective. So in your slides, I have this long quote, but I'd rather actually go to the source to give you a little bit of an overview on this concept and to present a different way of thinking. So I'll let Wab Canoe give his little overview of what an Indigenous ways of knowing perspective can offer.
One of the key insights that Indigenous cultures can offer is that they often view things more in terms of process and motion and things being in a state of flux rather than things being fixed down and being solid. So for instance, like in our day-to-day conversations, we often talk about like nouns, like I have this, car, I have this, outfit, this watch, this things like that. But the Indigenous world, it views things much more in terms of them being alive. So rather than having something, you would talk about being something, And so making that leap, I think, is really crucial and can invite you to think about your surroundings in a different way. So if you talk about a rock in English, you're thinking of it as being something static and something fixed and something probably not very exciting. But in Ojibwe, if you're talking about Essen or Essanique, you're talking about something that's alive, something that has a spirit, something that's in motion right now. And if you can start to conceive of things around you in a different way, I think it's just going to open up your worldview, open up your doors of perception, so to speak, such that you're going to be able to think about things in many different ways, in a plurality of fashions. And then I think that benefits you because it helps you think laterally on occasion while also being able to think linearly. And if you can cultivate both of those, you can drive innovation. You can think of different ways to solve a problem. You can think of ways to think outside the box.
So I'll leave it there, and I recommend looking that up, and I'll put the link to that video as well. It's from the Learning Exchange in Ontario. But again, the point here is that the way we're approaching this course is one perspective of the way that we could look at the natural world, and especially with respect to nutrition. But I love adding this lens as well because it opens up to thinking about the world in a different way and thinking about our interactions with the nutrients, with foods, with our environments, with the land in a more holistic and fluid motion. And I think like he said in the video, I've said in the video that this opens up our ability to see out of the box and think of new perspectives and ways of doing things. And I think it's about time we started doing things in new ways.